Cambodia, I am very sad to report that since 2016 and our last mission to Cambodia, the serious violations of human rights faced by parliamentarians of the CNRP, the only opposition party represented in the Cambodian parliament, have significantly escalated. In early September, Mr. Kem Sokha, the current president of the CNRP, was arrested at his home in the middle of the night. He was placed in solitary confinement in a remote prison where he continues to be under 24-hour video surveillance in his cell. He is accused of planning to topple the government with the assistance of the United States government and faces 30 years of prison. The core evidence against him is a video of a public speech that has been online since that time. The 14 other opposition parliamentarians, most of whom are part of the CNRP leadership, have also continued to face pressure and intimidation. First instance convictions based on dubious grounds have further been confirmed on appeal. Many opposition parliamentarians have sought refugee abroad in the past few weeks and are today in exile. Let me draw your attention to the fact that it is barely 8 months until the general elections in Cambodia. The Minister of the Interior recently requested the dissolution of the CNRP on the basis of recent amendments to the political party law, which do not comply with international standards on freedom of association. Legislative amendments were apparently voted this Monday to allow for the redistribution of the opposition seats to other parties should the Supreme Court dissolve the CNRP. We are appalled at the lack of clear and convincing responses provided by the Cambodian authorities on these developments and on the abuses faced by the 15 opposition parliamentarians whose cases are before us. We did meet at length with the Cambodian delegation to the 137th Assembly, but this has not alleviated our concerns. Quite the contrary. Having carefully reviewed the video of the 2013 speech of Mr. Kem Sokha, we wish to point out that it contains nothing whatsoever that could constitute a criminal offense. Mr. Sokha does express support for political change in Cambodia, but he clearly emphasized that he aims at bringing such change by winning the elections. We consider that his arrest is a clear violation of his freedom of expression and of his parliamentary immunity. We urge the Cambodian authorities to immediately release him and to drop the charges. All other opposition parliamentarians should also be able to resume their political activities without further delay and restrictions and without fears of further arrests, reprisals, or of the dissolution of the party. Urgent action is needed to ensure that they can participate to and campaign freely in the run-up to the elections. To finish on Cambodia, let me express the wish that our committee will be allowed to visit Mr. Kem Sokha and that he will already have been released and cleared of all accusations by the time the response of the Cambodian authorities will reach us. Before submitting the draft decisions for your adoption, allow me to share the video testimony of Mr. Mu Sochua, of Mrs. Mu Sochua. She's the vice president of the CNRP and a parliamentarian who was forced into exile due to current situation. We also met with her during this session. Here is her story and her appeal to the IPU for help.
Move on. First, we need to adopt the resolution, and then I will give all those who wish to speak on this subject a chance to voice their views. I invite you, members of the Council, to adopt the draft decision on Cambodia as set out on page 20 and 21 of the English and French versions respectively. Do I take it that the Council wishes to adopt the draft decision? It is so adopted. I see that Cambodia wishes to speak. So the first question, have there been amendments to your political laws as a result of which the only political party is going to be dissolved in Cambodia, opposition party? Yes or no, please?
Up to this point right now, we are here right now. We didn't hear any result from the amendment that they made in Cambodia at all. This is just the publicity here.
Would you, if such an amendment were to be made, would you support it?
I will not predict that because I didn't even see the amendment yet.
Okay, I think let us be very clear, Cambodia. We want to support you. We want to stand by the institution of parliament. But if you're going to have laws that dissolve the only opposition political party that exists, and not only that, there are now 55 seats that belong to the opposition in Cambodia. And you are then, as per this proposed law, going to redistribute the 55 seats to parties that do not even exist. Now, my friend and colleague from Cambodia mentioned that your constitution speaks about liberal, multi-party democracy. Do you think that would be an instance of liberal, multi-party democracy if this were to happen?
Just like I said, Mr. President, we didn't know I didn't see any amendment yet. And as we said at the Committee for the Rights of Parliamentarians, we will facilitate your visit because you asked to go to Cambodia, and we will facilitate your visit. We know that just like my colleague said, we didn't chase these people out. These people get out on their own, and they could come back anytime they want. That's a guarantee.
Okay, so we will record in the proceedings the two questions that I placed on you, because I think that is going to be very important to determine the future of Cambodia. Because if you have a one-party system and you basically blanket out the opposition, that to me doesn't seem to be consistent with the spirit of the constitution that you have articulated. So we will record these, and during the next session of the Committee on Human Rights of Parliamentarians, there will be a focus on these particular issues as well as the other pending issues. We also note and record what you have said.